Yes, and we are live. Welcome, everybody, and welcome today at another live stream where we will be building with the latest AI tools. I'm your host, Robert. I'm here today with Jordan.
Hello.
Jordan, this is your first live stream, isn't it?
It
Right?
is.
Is that correct?
It
Awesome.
is.
It's going to be amazing. Okay. Um, I know you prepared a session today called Privacy in Action, which is
Yes.
a teasing title, of course. And um, with the tagline here, how to find your top holders and participants. And I'm curious. Okay, what are you going to build for us? What are you using today? And
So today, for that, before going to what we are using today, I'll go to what we are building today. Today, we are building a private app that imagine you have a campaign that you want users to contribute your private token into that campaign, right? But you want to hide your users amount of the contributed amount, but also revealing who is the most the highest contributors. So basically, we are utilizing COTI MPC protocol, the garbled circuit, to do a private computations on who contributed the most without revealing the amount. So by the end, we will see who contributed the most, and that is the magic of the garbled circuit that I will be showing you guys today.
nice. So an example in action on how the comparison is done between the different values, but we don't know the actual values.
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay. Can you screen share, or should I give you permission?
I can actually,
Okay.
let me try. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yep. There we
All
go.
right. Before that, I want to show some of the diagram for newcomers who don't know what we are actually doing today. So in the normal traditional blockchain, right, when users submitted any transaction to the blockchain contract and it goes to the transaction records, we can inspect everything on the block explorer, meaning that anyone can see the amount or any details on the blockchain. But with garbled circuit, I'll be showing the millionaires problem, where two millionaires want to know who has the most money, but they don't want to reveal the amount. So Alice submit her net worth in the encrypted values. Also, Bob has submitted his encrypted values, and we use the garbled circuits to process both encrypted values, and we get the comparison result without showing the actual values to the users. And that is the magic of garbled circuit. And we'll be trying to implement it today solely using AI, totally vibe coding, so you can follow along.
That's a beautiful diagram, by the way. Yeah.
I,
Very clear. Yeah.
okay, and for today, we'll be creating a private token first, and then we'll try to create a private contribution contract. Let's get started. First, I would use Claude and also using COTI MCP for deploying COTI private tokens. If you haven't, if you don't know how to do it, you can go to earn.coti.io/build, and there's a tutorial here, and you can follow along. But I will also show it on this live stream. So let me use my prepared prompt. It's a simple, short prompt.
And of course, for the viewers, can you explain what you mean with COTI MCP?
MCP, right, is a model context protocol that will help AI to understand. For example, we have COTI technology, right? Normally, if I want to deploy as a private token, I would have to provide all the documentations to Claude. But if I connected the MCP server to Claude will already know what to do from the MCP server functionalities that provided to Claude. And this MCP server is being created by Davi, the official one.
So you can directly link to it if you also want to create your own.
Yes,
project.
but
So you don't need to.
on Claude you need a paid account, but on Smith Free you can click run, you log in with your free account and click run, and you can also create your private tokens. So what am I prompting? I'm telling Claude that I'm building a private contribution demo on COTI v2 testnet, create a new account for me on testnet, and after I fund it, deploy a private ERC20 token, which is a private token, and name it private participation with a symbol Pcoin and decimals 6. And we tell Claude that to let us know if the account address, so we can fund it from the faucet.
So does your Claude from the naming private contribution demo already understand what you want to build? Is it because you've
It
tried
need
it
more
before?
context of that, of course,
Okay.
but we are creating a private token, so it doesn't matter what we name it. We can provide more context later.
Got it.
So now Claude has created an address for us and guide us to fund our wallet so it can deploy our private token contract. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fund this wallet using my MetaMask account. Actually, one is enough for deploy the contract, but I'll give it 3 because I'll be using it to try to deploy the private participation smart contract too.
We cannot see that, by the way, if you're funding it.
Cannot? Oh.
No.
What is showing on the screen?
In case it might be a pop-up from your browser, for instance. We're looking at your browser screen.
The Claude one, right? The one I'm seeing.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Is it showing right now?
There we go. Yep,
okay.
It is.
Okay. So now I have sent some COTI to the wallet Claude just created, right? And now I can just tell Claude that I have funded the account. While waiting, do you have any questions?
I'm just impressed that Claude proactively asks you to fund it so I can work with it.
Yeah, because of the MCP server, it knows that we need some COTI in order to deploy our contract. So now we have the account details and the token contract. We can check it on our testnet to see if our token contract is actually deployed. And here it is, live on testnet, contract creation. It's just some simple sentences and it can just deploy us private token. So let me see. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna mint some token, or mint 1 million. And next up, we are going to try to prompt Claude to create our private participation smart contract. Okay, so now Claude has minted 1 million Pcoin, which is the token we just created. Next thing, we are going to try to create a smart contract for the private contribution app. So I prepared my prompt for that. Wait a second, now I'll explain it. It's actually a pretty long prompt, but I'll try to summarize it.
I'm expecting somewhat of a black box where the tokens come in and they're somehow magically compared.
We could try that, because I haven't prepared prompt for the visual because I want to try to live prompting and see if we face any errors on that.
Okay. I
So
meant
now,
black box, but of course it's mathematically sound underneath. But I meant black box in terms of
I see, I see.
understanding for the first-time builder. Let's say.
Pretty- So now I've pasted my prompt. It's actually a pretty long prompt. So how do I get this prompt, right? I just tell ChatGPT, because I don't want to consume my tokens on Claude. I tell ChatGPT that I will use Claude to create my private token using the MCP server. And then I will try to create a private contribution app. So act as a prompt engineer to create this prompt for me. And also I provide some examples, which is the private ERC20 contract. You can access it by going to github.com/COTI-IO, COTI contracts, and then we just go to token private ERC20.
These are the example contracts you give as context for the prompt.
Yeah, because we are creating a smart contract that we will be using our private token that we just deployed to work with our smart contract. So I just want Claude to know like how the private token is being structured, so it knows how to do.
And Claude, from my understanding now, also knows, because it's a private token, that it will use the private variables that, in this
Yeah,
case, COTI uses to make sure that the variables are not visible,
and
the
also the
values.
reason, yeah, exactly. And also the reason I'm using the same chat here, because I try to provide enough context as possible so it can catch up what we are doing. So reading through the prompt, what we are creating will create a contribute where user can submit their contribution amount and also get the highest contributor, which will be utilizing the COTI gobble circuit private computation to get who is contributed the most. This is my first time trying this prompt.
You asked ChatGPT for that prompt as input,
Yeah,
and was that a conversation, or was this the outcome it gave when you gave it the request for a private contribution demo?
okay. So when I was talking to ChatGPT, right, I was telling about COTI, its privacy ecosystem, and other functionalities by giving just the documentation from COTI, like built on
Mm-hmm.
COTI, quick start. I'm giving some contract examples and also guides on account onboarding,
Mm-hmm.
sending a transaction with encrypted inputs, resolving transaction encrypted inputs. So it is not exactly the same as the contract we are creating, but it provides enough context for ChatGPT to know what we are expecting from Claude.
What features should be in there and are
Yeah,
requested to be
yes.
in the prompt. And that
Like knowing
was, what that was for you, how long? Let's say half an hour?
for the prompting,
Yeah, to get to that prompt. Just
probably
as
like
an impression.
max 20 minutes because
20.
I was trying to provide all the documentation. If you just throwing it at once, it's gonna like sometimes gonna be hallucinated. So we have to like slowly give it some context and trying to ask for a confidence percentage. Sometimes it gives us like 60 and 65%, and it will explain what is needed, and we can provide more information on that.
Nice. Nice. Okay.
And also we'll be using V0 to create a front end.
You'd want to do that during the generation of the backend logic, or? or want to do that after, so you can connect it once it's already up?
I'm gonna try to ask Claude after it generated everything. I'll ask Claude to create a prompt for V0 because Claude know what to implement, how to integrate with the smart contract. That will be my approach.
Okay. So you wouldn't have to feed it, let's say, existing libraries, for instance, which might be common to connect with a Web3 interface on a front end, because Claude will understand how to implement that based on your live contract, so it can
Yes,
call the right functions to make sure you can connect with it in your front end
exactly. But that
interface.
doesn't like guarantee that there will be no errors. We will be facing some errors, but we'll try to fix it live and using
Okay.
only AI for that. Do you have any like privacy topics you are interested in? Like
Always.
lately? Always.
Yes. No, actually, in the case of private transactions on chain, is becoming has become one of the main topics in the Ethereum ecosystem, which you
Yeah.
recently saw also presented at DevConnect, the biggest Ethereum ecosystem event this year. And privacy is on the roadmap for the Ethereum mainnet layer one.
Yeah.
And they've also announced the Kohaku
Oh,
wallet
I've seen that.
and support. Yeah, with the integration of privacy pools and Railgun um, to provide privacy out of the box, let's say, for end
Yeah.
users.
Like the privacy theme is actually like expanding pretty fast.
Yeah, and it's always been a somewhat of a blocker for business adoption. You cannot, if you cannot transact privately on chain, then your competitors will know what you'll be doing, etc., etc. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's also hard to stay compliant in a way, especially when interacting with clients and users. So,
Yeah, exactly.
and not just for financial transactions, but any type of data you want to encrypt and then send over to either on chain or off chain. Yeah.
So while waiting, I'll try to add that add this COTI token to my MetaMask.
The new created P coin you just
Yeah.
made.
Yes. Oh, wrong. Sorry. That was my address. We should use the token contract. So,
Ah, it recognizes symbol.
yeah. We can also send some to my wallet. But after it generated, Claude want to compile contract. I'll use always allow for now, so it doesn't ask for permission every time. So now contract is compiled. If I try to deploy, my AS key and private key is leaked, but that is a wallet created by Claude, so it's all right for now. As long as
This is
it's
a
not my
demo.
personal wallet. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, the obligatory, when you do this at home, don't stream it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like when I was recording tutorials, I sometimes like leak my private key, but I always blur it every time when I was editing the videos.
Ah,
Now it's creating the documentation, and we'll try to utilize this on V0.
There's a sense of fulfillment to see it actually being created on the spot, let's say.
Yeah, like someone like following along, they can like follow
Yeah,
every steps. They're gonna face the
most
errors. I think.
most likely for the computer, it's there's no need to visualize it in such a way or even do it in that at that speed, most likely.
Yeah.
But it makes it possible to read along.
So it has deployed a private contract. Let's check it out on our testnet. Okay, now we have. Let me check the correct one. Okay. Okay, contract created. Now it has all the explanations. Okay, and next thing I'll be trying to prompt Claude to create a prompt for Visual.
Does it also give an example of a private event?
Private
Because it
event.
shows contributions. Just was wondering if it's fully comprehends the.
Oh, you want to review the generated code, right?
Yeah, just intrigued if it understands the transactions need to be encrypted.
Yeah, so firstly, it approve Pcoin when users trying to submit the coin, they're required to approve it, and they make contribution. Okay, I think we have all the functionalities needed. We can check our contribution and also compute rankings.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll try it. Sorry. Sometimes Claude like mess up the network's details on of COTI testnet details. So I'll try to copy it to Claude.
Like it confuses the chain ID or one of the other variables.
Exactly.
Okay.
That was I faced like a couple times.
Now, I do not know if that's coming from the context that it gets from NPC. I'd assume not. I think it rather may come from the other context it has scraped online, which may
Yeah.
have been old information.
Yes. That's why I have to like copy all the details for it. But I'm not sure why it's not using the COTI MCP, because when we were first creating our private token, we don't have to tell it that we are using COTI MCP. It just straight up created our contract.
It says it failed to fetch one of the documentation's links.
Yeah, but it's successfully fetch lots of it. Try it. Check it out. Okay.
Or maybe it retried and then succeeded.
Maybe it's like fetching a lot of links and just point out which one is not working. think this one is going to be pretty long prompt.
So I like how you used ChatGPT to basically prepare and save money on the competitor. uh,
Because
yeah.
yeah, when using ChatGPT, right, we are like having a conversation with ChatGPT, so it's gonna be like a lot of chatting back and forth. If I do that on Claude, it's gonna consume a lot of my usage.
One of the examples I saw announced on X recently was people integrating Claude in their Gemini CLI to
Claude. Uh-huh.
also
To
separate the context versus the execution to
I
save
haven't
money.
tried that.
Yeah.
I'll try that, of course. I'm thinking it's like creating the whole code for us, but I'm not sure if we actually need that. Or actually, we just need some of the context and some guide. But let me see. Okay, it just finished it. And also when we are like when we are creating app on front end and want to integrate it with our smart contracts, we need to provide our network details, also contract APIs. So the app knows what functions is available and how to call functions, how to pass parameters to our smart contracts. As we can see, it is suggesting to use Next.js 14, but now it's actually Next.js like 15 already. So I think we need to manually change some of the prompt. But I'll be showing, if you guys don't know like the version of any of these uh, dependencies, we can just tell Visual to use the latest version instead of actually specifying the version to it.
Yeah, this might also be related to the last indexing moment um, of the model, that it
Yeah.
still perceives that as the latest one.
Yes. So we need an update. We could try to copy everything here and paste on Visual, but I'm not sure if it is too much for Visual, but we could try, and then we can, if it is too much context, we can just shorten it.
I have not
Of
hit
course.
a limit yet with them before, but
Okay.
usually I did not include such a comprehensive code examples list as well, just point it in the right direction.
Yeah, we could try it, but I'm not sure if it's gonna work because it actually a pretty long prompt. So now, wait a second. Okay.
So you just uploaded the whole prompt that Claude generated as input, and you're
Yes, and
providing
I'll
the
just
context what to do with it now.
yeah, and also some simple step of what we are expecting. we will use the private participation smart contract for privately computing the values and find the highest contributor and also give them the rankings. Okay, I think it's actually enough. Let's try it. And also I'm using the Claude model on Visual because in my opinion, currently Claude is like the top of the class in when generating code.
I've heard that more lately, that especially with GPT-5, that the delays have been an issue, at least from people who have been using previous versions as well. Have you seen differences with the other tools lately? Besides your
I've been
preference for
switching.
Claude?
I've been switching around between ChatGPT and also Claude, and I found that Claude fix my errors more precisely comparing to ChatGPT. Even though I have ChatGPT 5.1, meaning I'm buying the pro version, I'm still prefer Claude when it comes to coding.
So that's where the actual time saving is in the case of Claude.
Yeah, exactly. And since Claude has can use COTI MCP, that's why I prefer Claude because I'll be working a lot with COTI smart contracts.
Well, that surprised me actually, because MCP is supposed to be a standardized protocol, right? With the idea it can be used as input for any of the other LLMs.
Yes, but I've tried to connect it with ChatGPT, but I failed. I think I tried like 2 months ago, but I'm not sure what's wrong with it. But I'm not sure if it has implemented it yet. That's the issue. But we can check it out.
Okay,
Actually,
that's worth checking out. Yeah.
I'll ask ChatGPT how to connect MCP server with ChatGPT.
Yeah, but basically what anyone can ask the engine at home as well, of course. Yeah.
Oh, ChatGPT, which now supports loading consumption.
Well, maybe it's not verified with
When you're like
ChatGPT.
normal non-technical users and you try to implement like MCP server, right? And you just ask some simple question and now it's giving you some code and all stuff. Then you lose interest in doing that.
Yes, I would hope, for instance, as a new builder, that those hosting the MCP server have perhaps already made those connections and make sure that they're authorized, verified to be used in the context of my prompt at ChatGPT or any other. That would be the most lazy way for me as a builder to use it.
Uh,
Yeah.
so have you built anything before? Like vibe coding?
Sorry?
have you wipe coded any application like from your
Yes, but not
experience?
with MCP input for it.
Uh, it has. Oh wait, maybe my question is not clear. But where's developer? I cannot see it. Oh, here it is. I think we need to. No, what? We'll get back to this. First, I'll go back to our retro. I will, for the sake of this tutorial, I will tell it to use dark theme. That's my fault for not telling it firstly.
Much appreciated. Yeah. Also, did it run into any errors upon building this?
Currently, no. We'll find out when we publish it and we test it.
Okay. Yeah, so I know it's maybe it's personal preference, but I would love for front-end generators to also always suggest a button for dark themes
Oh,
for any
other than dark
application you
theme.
generate. Yeah, just for the
I know.
sake
I
of our
understand you.
well-being. Yeah,
Because when I open a website with a light theme, right, I was always looking for the button to change the theme. And my last resort is Chrome extension.
same. Yeah. Not to say there aren't lovely colored themes out there, but feel free to have that for your project or application or website. But
Because
yeah, keep the
yeah,
alternatives in mind. Yeah.
because I always browse at night, right? And when opening a light theme website, like a flashbang.
I'm currently broadcasting from Europe, so half of my day right now in the winter is darkness. Yeah.
It's actually dark here too. Is it cold there? Like
Oh
now?
yes, hence the extra sweater. Yeah.
Now we can wait for it to create a dark theme. I think the concept of the garbled circuits and the private computation is actually pretty powerful in my opinion. Like many people should know this and use this, in my opinion. Oh, a lot better.
What I like is that it gives the opportunity using the docs and the MCP server to take an existing concept, like a transparent, let's say DAO, for instance, or a
Mhm.
voting platform or a donation platform, and to just give that as a context and say, okay, now make it private. Retain
Yeah,
the logic, let's say, the way it's set up, but now add privacy to it. And that ease of use was missing in the case of Web3.
yeah. Now it's here, and we try to like make it a lot easier when developing. So
Yeah.
before that, without MCP server, I was like feeding all the documentations, and now since we have MCP server, it's a lot easier to create private token and also private contract. So now we have deployed, we can test it by connecting to our wallet. Let's see if we have our first errors. No, we don't. No, we don't have any errors and also nothing at all. Let me check on the console. Nothing. I'll check it on Vercel.
I think I saw something red, but if it's not
Really?
game breaking,
Oh no,
platform breaking.
this one, right?
Yeah, can read it.
Yeah, I think it's not related actually. This could cause it.
It's
I'm
looking
not
for an
sure.
icon. Okay, there's no icon yet. Yeah, fair, fair.
What I'm doing is I'm going to Vercel. Is this where Weasel, when it deploys our app, it will be deploying on Vercel, and we can see all the logs to see if there's any errors on the server side. I'll try to make it live and we'll test it again. From now, it's going to be vibe debugging. Okay.
I'm surprised to see it fully functional upon the first prompt.
I would
mean,
be
that-
surprised too.
I mean that's a testament to how surprisingly well the context in the examples have been taken, or how much the models have improved
Yeah.
compared to previous streams we did, where there usually was quite the refactoring after. But we'll see now if it connects and executes.
Just some simple sentence on what we are facing. So totally when we are vibe coding, when we're facing errors, we don't know any technical details, right? So we just tell it what we are facing in like natural English language. Now we'll be waiting for it to fix. Normally, like when we're connecting to wallet, the first try it should work, but now we are facing errors. What I'm trying to do is going to get the examples. Like as I said earlier, when we like dump all the prompt into any LM and it start working like immediately, I will not trust it like if it understand the whole context of what we just tell it. Like it's not like thinking about it at all.
So you just grab this example because you want to give it a
No, I
nudge
haven't
in the
grabbed
right
it.
direction?
I haven't grabbed it. I'm checking it
Okay.
out if it can fix it, and if not, I'm going to grab the examples. Okay. Good thing with Visual is that we can share it on our GitHub, and we can just work on our local machine, and then we can just push it back, and we can deploy on Visual. It's actually pretty flexible.
Oh, so it will understand if you, for instance, want to merge some changes, that a new addition, and from here on I have to generate
Yeah.
my preview, etc. Yeah.
Yes. So if I ran out of tokens, I can just create a repository, and I can just work on other LM and then push it back, and it will auto deploy. Now it's telling us to check if we are facing errors. So now we're getting error unrecognized chain ID. Trying the chain ID.
Is it taking chain ID of testnet, or is it livenet, mainnet?
It's actually testnet, but it tried to like change it to some hex, what's it called, hexadecimal, right? Let me think for a second. I'll go to docs. I'll grab the network details again. I'll tell it that I'm getting this warning. Now we just need to wait for V0. It's gonna be like a repetitive task to do when we're wipe coding.
Adjusting the virtual colleague to take another look at his steps. Now this happens more often. Most of the times when we generated an application, there has to be some form of nudging still from the user, let's say, to get it right.
Like for example, we asked ChatGPT like the very first version of ChatGPT. If we're asking like what is the updated knowledge it knows, it's gonna say like sometime in the past. So we need to give it some updates, especially on technologies that evolving every day.
And I'm wondering, as a part of the initial prompt, usually you give a context as well and how to act, as in what kind of role would you expect from the LLM to take on. In this later process, as we refine and nudge, do you adjust that role? Usually I gave it, okay, you are a senior blockchain developer or other role that's expected of it to generate something and work from there.
Like after the first prompt, right? After it generated everything and we're facing errors, is that correct?
Yes. Like, would you give it a context and say, like, I want you to relook, but now, like for instance, sometimes you do checks at the end and you give it an audit perspective. In this case, we are halfway, let's say. Does that change the context for you? Would you say no, that it's more about nudging it in the right direction?
In my personal experience, it's more like nudging it and feeding the context rather than like giving it a role. That way I find it work perfectly for me. We just publish our update and let's test it out. Okay, now we connected to our testnet with our account. I'll try to onboard our account. I'm not sure what's creating an onboard process. In transaction. We could go back to Claude to ask it to help out when facing errors if we don't want to consume like tokens or credits on V0. I'll try to do that, but I'm just asking it for guidance so I can prompt V0 because Claude know nothing about our front end app right now.
Of course.
Oh no, it's ChatGPT. Yeah. Sorry.
Because it was generated by another LLM.
Yes. Yeah. And also I'll try to give try to grab as much examples that I can provide to LLM.
And the examples are for context for V0.
Yes. So if it's still not working, I would tell it to follow these examples by installing this COTI SDK TypeScript and also follow the onboard procedure. Now Claude has answered our question. I'll read it. So now it fixed our documentation. I'll try to copy it to V0. Okay, now it's specifying the errors. Wait, I think I haven't give it the contract API. Oh yeah, yeah. Let me read this for a moment.
You said you haven't given it a contract API. Could it pull that information from the public sources where the contract is?
Contract APIs is actually the functionalities of our smart contract. So Claude created our contract, right? So it knows the API of our contract. So if we want our contract API, we can just ask Claude to summarize our contract details and also give us the contract API, so we can use it on our front-end app. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so now I'm going to copy this to V0 and also stating the errors we are facing and act like we point out the problem and telling it how to fix it.
Nope. So you're pointing to the official documentation. Recommended use official SDK. Yeah.
Yes. I've copied my issues. I've created telling it that I'm getting this errors. If we ran out of time, I'll still have a backup plan. I've actually created a mock for this, but I will try my best to make it work because I've tried to work with private computation and actually pretty easy to say when we are vibe coding, but sometimes it required more times. So I try to fix this as fast as possible.
So in your back pocket, you have a version that's already able to connect.
The version I created is just a mock data, but it shows the process and explain clearly on what is actually happening. But it's not submitting transaction on the chain. But it has the same concept.
Got it. Got it. Also, hi to the chat. I saw some questions. Are there some people chatting in there? If you have questions for the stream, sure, feel free to ask. We're here to answer as well. Yep.
Let me see.
If you're live and joining us via YouTube, or if you have a question and ask it via the official Discord, for instance, then we can immediately take it and see if we can resolve it here.
Yeah, feel free to ask any questions. Account onboarded, event not found in transit. Please check the contract address. So since we are facing errors, I will try to download the zip and I will upload it to Claude and let it analyze what we are facing.
So again, use the output of one to bring it to the other to have their expertise, have a fresh look at it with their expertise.
Yes. Good thing about, as I say, good thing about Visual that is that we can just export the project to anywhere. But since using GitHub gonna consume a lot of time, so I just download the zip file and upload it to Claude.
Yes, because where it would provide feedback now based on the code base you gave it. Otherwise, you could look it up on GitHub, what were the changed lines or added ones,
Yes.
which might be the reason for the errors now. But that would be manual.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
That would be manual. So we need like, so actually Claude will give us the zip file, but I'll ask it for independent files that I can just place all the text on Visual, so we don't have to waste our time.
So this is about the front end right now, because V0 is trying to make that connection.
Yes,
Can we already test the logic otherwise in the meantime in the backend?
we could actually, but we could wait for Claude to finish it because we have all the context provided here.
Yep. This is the moment usually when
Yeah.
to touch some grass and
What is grass?
It's this mythical green thing that grows outside.
Haven't seen it for a while.
Yeah. I think you can generate it with V0 as well. I've heard.
Yes, you can. So you want to see the
Why
demo
is it?
one first while
Why is
waiting?
it? It gives back it's searching the web, but you gave it a context, right? Like a literal context, even.
Maybe it's fine. I absolutely have no idea.
Okay.
You don't know like how I learn things.
Okay. But yeah, in the meantime, I would be interested in a demo. Uh, like I said, if we can either
Okay.
try backend or we can show how it would work.
The back I will show the Claude has generated this one. But for now we can watch the mock demo I made. Nothing is being submitted on chain, but you will clearly understand what is actually happening and what we are expected to happen if we have actually implemented the real one. So like as I said, imagine like you launch a campaign, right? And you want people to contribute to your campaign, but you don't want to expose the amount of your tokens that users contributed to your campaign, but you want to know who contributed the highest. So what we're going to do is we'll test out this demo together. I use my wallet to connect. So even though it's showing this wrong, it's actually the correct network. Let me try to switch it. Yeah, just some UI errors. Okay, so I have this account that will contribute to this campaign, a shadow fund campaign, a privacy campaign. For example, I contributed 10,000 of P coin. So now we have contributed our P coin, and this is some simulations on what's actually happening. It will be submitting on chain in the correct way. And if we try to connect to another account, we'll try to use this account and connect to our app. Try to contribute about 300 P coin. Albert, are you still here with me?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand now. If you make like you said, like you make the transaction, if it now indexes you as a new participant, and it
Yes.
puts you somewhere in the ranking.
So now this button is for the demonstration. We will show the highest contributors. So this is actually what the process it will be happening on the blockchain if we successfully implement it. It will first let it finish. So now it shows that the top contributors is a wallet we connected earlier, which is correct. But let's see what actually happening. So first we're gonna onboard our account, which is the things every account will do when we are working on the COTI blockchain. And it will get all the contributors on that is saved on the smart contracts and decrypt the user's key. No, decrypting with user's key. And then it use garbled circuits to find the highest contributors
From the encrypted values.
Let me see if it is correct. If the explanation is correct.
Oh yeah, loading encrypted contributions. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because we are using user's AES key, not our. Sorry, not our AES key. So the phase is actually pretty simple. We just submit tokens on the blockchain, and then we use garbled circuit to do a private computations to find who contributed the most. That is like the magic of the garbled circuit. But this is just a demo. What we are trying to do is we try to implement it and make it work. Now we're facing session, but that doesn't matter. Since it fixed everything, test it out.
Did it say it fixed everything?
No, not really.
Okay.
I've created enhance. Download 2 files. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'll go back to V0. Let me find V0 first. This one. We have an onboard TS, right? What I'm trying to do is I'm searching for the file that Claude just fixed for us. So we can notice that from the file we just downloaded. It's called onboard.ts, right? So when we go to V0, we navigate to the code tab and we search for the file. And we can just try to replace everything. I'm pretty sure this is like some kind of guide that we can use. It will be useful for V0.
Okay.
Wait a second. We'll try to publish it first, and we can come back and check it out if there's any errors.
Yes, because it's information it could have and should have picked from the documentation already, right?
Yes. Okay. Try to onboard our account again. Let's try to see it on the testnet. It is showing success, but I'm not sure why we're facing errors.
So it thinks everything is done the way it's supposed to.
Yes.
And by it, I mean the LLM. Because apparently
Yes,
the Chain Explorer shows everything is supposed to work.
exactly. It's supposed to work. Let me see. It's calling on board account multiple times. is calling from this account. I'll try to tell it that we are facing these errors even though the onboard is success. Maybe it's because of the event, like even the because after the transaction is success, it should trigger the event, but our app is waiting for event and it's not happening. That is what I'm assuming is the error is about.
So it could be like a misnaming, for instance, which is why a
Probably.
call doesn't succeed, or something trivial.
I'll check my onboard. I'll use my last resort, which is copying the onboard examples.
So the LLM has no excuse to mistake interpretation.
Yes, no more excuse. We need this function main. Right. Hmm. Yes. Sorry, Robert, I'm having difficulties hearing your voice. Maybe it could be my network.
No, my mic was lower. I think. It was you gave the full context now from this example. Would it be sufficient to provide the
Yes,
link, the deep link? Say, hey, grab it from here. Risk.
I've tried copying links once to Claude, and I found that it's referring to something wrong. That's why I would like feel better if I just copy the content instead of the link. But this is my personal experience. That's
Okay.
why I'm approaching it this way.
Okay, it recognizes a problem,
No worries.
and it was like you said, the event might be referred to wrongly.
Let's see if it works. Like we haven't gone to the private computation. This is just an onboard. Well, normally I never faced that like this kind of problem when it comes to onboarding. Errors will be like happening when I'm doing like submitting some data onto the chain, the encrypt values onto the chain. That's where I'll face some errors.
Well, that's because it's live, of course, now.
Exactly.
It always comes when you least expect it. Yeah.
So publish it. I will try to fix it. It's building. I'm excited.
It's the silence before the
Forward
storm.
operation.
It could be a beautiful storm, or it could be another refactor storm. Yeah.
Oh no. The method. I do have another card. I have another example that I can use.
Okay.
Like the previous one I saw Rafa use and it worked perfectly fine for him, and it breaks for me.
Okay. Is it one of the official examples?
Yes, this one, the previous one that we just gave it is from the official examples, and the one I'm going to give it is also from the official examples. But I'm thinking like this one is required private key, right? Or we just mm, I'll try to, before we go to that route, try to from V0 to it worked.
So locally, it might make a difference depending on which the dependencies there are, which might have a version mismatch. For instance, with the compiler or other parts. Could that be a problem in this case as well?
I
Or is that
absolutely have no idea if it actually linked to the
okay?
issue we are facing.
Okay. Because I recall that to use the private components of COTI, you need to make sure you got the right using the right version of the compiler.
Of of compiler.
Yeah, I think I forgot the exact number in this case. Um, just bringing it up as it was an issue with one of the previous streams.
I'll try to publish changes. I would try to switch between Visual and Claude, trying to get context, but now Claude has Richard limit, right? We don't have time for that. Continue using our Visual.
Okay.
Cannot read properties of undefined reading topics. Now it's just we will just try to give all the errors we are facing, try to make research to figure out what's happening. Just browse through the examples. No, this is not what we're looking for.
You want to give them as additional context to
Yes,
verify the behavior?
just about onboarding, for example, like this. How to check? Okay. How is everything so far, Robert?
Yeah, I'm reading along. So it assumes receipt of logs. But yeah, the logging feature doesn't sound like something that would break the flow of user, but maybe that's my interpretation.
Mhm. No logs found in transaction received. The contract. Try to use the another examples. This is from
This is from the official
it's COTI
list of examples.
It's examples on the client side. I'm thinking.
But to give this example, wouldn't we also need to give an overview of what these variables represent and are related? Or,
What variables?
the like you said, if you want to give the specific onboarding um, code as a input example, wouldn't you need to give structure as well, context for that?
Yes. So your question is
As in, wouldn't we need to give the whole
whole code, right?
yeah, as context for it to make to understand for it to understand
Uh,
what's going wrong with onboarding.
if we go back to the examples that I was using earlier, right? The reason
What did you?
I only
Yeah.
grabbed these to this because other functions is about encrypt and decrypt values, and main is for the initial start of onboarding our um, our account.
No, I agree. You wouldn't need all the functions if you're just going to use the one where currently the error is, as long as we do provide the rest of the structure. Yeah, yeah. But you already did
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yes, but I'm thinking like, what should I do? Maybe I could check it on the log instead. Okay. AS key is no. Shining eyes. I'll try to clear all the logs and I'll try to onboard our account again so we can get the fetch errors. So now it's waiting for confirmation. Okay. Address. We can check on our address and see if there is any transaction went through. Oh, it is actually.
Is it the quotes or? Okay. Yeah.
You have transaction coming here. Oh, copy the whole log generated by Visual. Visual generated a log for us, so we can just grab it.
So the Block Explorer is showing successful activity.
Yes, but it's about even after that. But I'm not sure like what my app is trying to do. So for the tutorials, I think I will try to ask it if we can bypass what's happen. What should we do after we onboard our account, so we don't have to wait for the event that it's been waiting that causing the errors.
Can we ask it to break up the process into steps so we can narrow down the scope of where the error might?
It's actually pretty clear now currently because we know that the transaction is being through and it's being put on the blockchain, right? But after that, our app is like waiting for an event to trigger something. So that's why it's breaking.
So you just asked if it is the problem, then please fix it. If it's not the
Yes.
problem, go find it.
What? Really?
He said, if it is a problem, please fix it. If it's
Oh,
not a problem, go find it. Yeah.
oh, I mean, if we don't need it, even after account onboarding, can we
Can we
bypass
bypass
it? If yes, just bypass it. If we cannot bypass it, we need just read the logs I attach to it and find the root cause of it. That's what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say.
yeah. In the flow of the demo, I'm interpreting bypassing as fixing for
Oh,
now.
okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, I see.
because indeed it doesn't resolve the actual logging issue most likely then, but it would resolve us being able to show the actual functionality.
Oh, I forgot to tell it that if the account is already onboarded, just skip it. Okay, so I see the light. I think it's understand what's actually happening. So let's see if it's working. I'll try to find like privacy topics so we can work on newer projects in the future if we collab again.
Well, this is about transactions, transacting, and about, like I said, the millionaire's problem, like verifying which number is highest, let's say,
Yes.
and then rank them. But that's about amounts, and sometimes it doesn't need to be like amounts. It can also. I'm personally interested in sovereign identities. So
Mhm.
I said, okay, how, and also the opportunity to segment it, choose what part to open up about.
Oh,
There actually is a COTI demo about that, about age verification, and I think there's some cool stuff to build there. There's quite some things being experimented on with potential decentralized IDs, and also, okay, if you go for that option, how
mhm.
would recovery work or renewal, etc. There's a lot of things that come with it, which are not even blockchain related in its concepts, but are very intriguing to see how we can make it work on a decentralized system, and if it makes sense. So,
It's actually interesting. But also, more interesting is we're still facing theirs. Oh my god. I hate when you say I see the issue now, but then we're still facing the issue. The solution is create historical events first before it.
yes, I see the issue now, or that's an interesting question or remark.
Yeah.
For something it should have known already. Well, yeah. I mean, the whole idea is that I don't need to be the computer to make it work. You need to be smart enough as the computer to understand me, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I've did that one board.
And I know that sounds pedantic, by the way, but the whole idea was to structure these LLMs to make them work with natural language processing.
Yeah. Deployment successful. Try to test it. Like,
So, assuming the onboarding happens correctly, as
Mhm.
it does on chain, is there any way we can initiate user flow beyond that?
Like how?
Like you asked for bypassing it. Could we initiate it at a later state, assuming onboarding has taken place and we give it the variables required for that?
So we need to onboard our account first because the next step we're going to do is we're going to contribute the amounts which required the onboarded account. So if we skip this first, it will not like allow us to like contribute to our smart contract.
Okay.
So that's what happening. But I have like I'm thinking for transaction. I've never faced these errors before.
And what if we dump the code base plus the error into another LLM for a second opinion,
ChatGPT.
for instance?
Let me check. Okay, we could try that. It's gonna take a lot of time for ChatGPT to try to understand our context. Do we have time for that?
We can try.
Okay.
I mean, the whole idea, of course, is that if you're vibe coding it, you should be able to figure it out yourself with the tools which are online available, which is what we're doing now.
Yes, exactly. Like vibe coding.
Like if the problem is with the event after onboarding, I don't know if we need the full code base as context. If you
you
want,
mean
if you
like
want to
part
simplify
of
it.
the code, right?
Well, if we can
We
just get to
could.
the part where the error is taking place and see if we can get an opinion on, okay, what's going on, where could we fix this? And that's assuming, of course, everything after would be happy flow, but we don't even get there at the moment. So
Let me check on the onboard account to see what it's actually doing. Lib, COTI, and onboard. Okay. And we just paste the errors. So what basically I just did is I just copied a part of onboarding, which I assume it is a part where we are getting errors. Let me recheck if the transaction actually went through. Okay. Let me turn off the development.
And why?
Because it's not using some memory stuff, so I'm not sure if it's gonna have any issues with the current chat if we continue to like chatting. Mm. For now, like we're feeling stuck, right? I will ask Wizro to confirm with us, like, do we need anything else? Because we have tried many ways that it's trying to suggest us to do.
What's the feedback of ChatGPT right now on this?
Oh, okay. Is it finish? No, usually means well for you to receive it. So it's assuming three things. The receipt really has no logs. A log exists, but you're looking at the wrong logs. Log exists, but your decoding usage assumption are wrong. This, mm, let me read through it for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So just suggesting us to add more logs so we can dig deeper on it.
Is it a more detailed debug overview? Is it?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Um, the waters. I really want this to work because I cannot sleep if I don't make it to work. I'll update on port with the enhanced debugging. So what we are doing, we're not fixing anything. We're just enhancing the logging system that we implement. So and hope we can see what we are actually facing.
We're zooming in.
Yes. But I'm pretty sure like I provide the correct context of it, but I'm not sure it's not working. Hmm. Right. Okay. Still waiting? I'll just wait. Okay, it's finished.
Okay.
We'll just wait for it to up.
Okay.
Waiting for confirmation.
So now upon creation, we should get a detailed overview.
Yes, now we have a lot of details, which I don't know where to start from. Okay, now we have no logs. Okay, we have better context for our LLM. I will also throw it into ChatGPT.
With the question how to fix this. Yeah. Let's see what it comes
Sometimes
up
we
with.
just don't ask. Like most of the time, I'm not asking it to fix it. I just throw the errors, but it's bad prompting. But like when some minor errors that it does not require more context, I would just throw the errors into it. But it is the best practice if we provide enough context for it.
It claims now I understand the issue.
Sorry, what?
It claims now I understand the issue.
No way. No way. Detail. It's still not fixing our code. I'll see what ChatGPT giving us.
It says it should be more visible to see if the information was emitted, if the event topics were emitted from a different address. But I think that already was one of the found errors.
But we already tested on check on our account. Oh, actually, I can just wait. I hear that we are seeing success, but we are actually failing.
Is it checking for the right address? As in, apparently the execution is correct, but the check then is maybe pointing to a different
It's
address.
claimed to do that. Now we are trying it out.
Okay.
So now it goes to the lazy way, meaning that we have to grab our own AES key, right? But I'll do it from another tab, and I will just paste it. Wait a second. I'll grab. So I'll try to get my own AES key, and I'll drop it here manually, just for it to see if it will work or not. So just to show you guys, in order to get our AES key, we need to onboard our account using COTI MetaMask Snap. But I need to do it on another screen because it will leak my AES key.
That makes total sense.
along in the process of onboarding my account. Okay, but if I onboard it on currently, COTI Snap is supported only the mainnet. Mm, what I'm thinking is, what if I just use the AES key from Claude?
Yeah, I'm also trying to think indeed where we can replace that event
Yeah, I'm
call.
trying to think like, mm, I'll use the another example providing on the COTI docs, but I'm not sure if it's gonna help us with this with the errors we are
Okay.
facing. Because we are like building some context that we show is like consuming out of false details that it understand the issues, but actually it's not understanding anything. So I'm not sure if I just throw a new implementation, will it mess up with the context it currently knowing.
Hmm.
I use the browser for I'm trying to like change all the implementation from what it is doing to be the same way of the new example.
Yeah, I was understanding how the newly onboarded uh, address would be required to creating the circuit, if I'm correct. And I was wondering
Sorry,
if
what?
you need the input data from the process, from the onboarding process, right? So I was wondering if we cannot get it from the process because it's not emitted, if we could add that to local variables,
You mean
which it
the
grabs, just for the flow to demonstrate, if that's an option.
grabs the what again? Sorry.
Like if you could basically, well, not well, manually, basically pointing them to constants. It would be my
Oh,
was
okay.
my
It's
was my
constant
idea.
of the AES key. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, as in bypassing the usual flow where it would grab it from the just generated
Yeah. Okay.
account.
Oh,
But it's
we'll
something
work
like
on that.
that. But that was more to show the flow. Would that be then? Yeah.
Sure.
And of course, we want the app to work automated. So let's aim for
Sure.
that first.
publish it.
Okay, it says refactored. No issues found.
Yeah. Okay, let's check it out.
Let's see it.
Please wait.
It's taking its time.
Ooh, account onboarded.
Poof. There we go.
Okay. Oh, nice timing. Low battery. Okay, now we're getting these errors, but we'll fix it. I need to charge my real quick. Sorry.
Okay. If you've just tuned in, we're creating an application which allows for ranking donations and transactions without revealing the actual amounts. For instance, in a this could be an auction, this could be a DAO, this could be another context in which you're making a transaction, contributing to a project, but don't want to reveal how much that is. But the project itself, for instance, wants to provide a ranking internally, externally about the contributions. And that logic we've just been building with Claude. And the account onboarding is now successful, and we're now figuring out the next portion in how to actually encrypt.
Contribute privately. Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
Sorry. So now we're getting new errors, which is invalid bytes like. And I'll try to search in code first, like where this button is actually triggering any actions before prompting. I'm tracing down the files on the functions being called. So we're on the hook.
Could we ask Vizero to quickly check that for us?
We could, but it's gonna consume our tokens. Like if you so yes, I have like 4.82 token left.
Okay.
Let's just track the root cause of it. But I will in the end I will just throw the errors anyways, but I'm like trying to get understanding what is actually happening.
Yep.
Also give it our contract API. So I'm throwing the errors when we are calling functions to the smart contract, but now I'm thinking that it might be implementing the wrong way. So I'm going to grab the contract API and paste it in Visual again, give it a little nudge so it can check if it's actually implementing the correct way. trying to search for the API. Mm, I think our class actually reset. We just use a lot of time on it. Okay. Now I'm going to
It's refactoring now, right?
yes, I'm going to use Claude this time because Claude understand our token or smart contract the most. Sorry to put you through this, Robert.
No, no. Look, what I like about these sessions is it's real. This is what
Yes, it's
happens
real.
sometimes, and you gotta work around it and with it, and to be able to fix it. And everyone goes through this.
Yes, exactly. Everyone, like even engineers. Like sometimes it's just one prompt it works, but this is the worst case scenarios we are facing.
It's also the puzzle itself is fascinating, of course, in its on its own.
Okay. Is it exposing our AS key? But then one, it's just my fake account. Okay. Okay, so Claude tell us to check on the input.text dash text.ts. So I'll just throw the file into it. I'm feeling like we're almost there.
It's good that it's the next step in the process now. Assuming it's taking the right variables from the first step.
Yeah. Okay. Since we are consuming a lot of time, I'll just throw it in there. Okay. Push thing. And it's telling us to go change this line to these two lines in the use private participation.ts. Okay. Mm. Let's try it. So what I just did is I prompt Claude by tracking down the buttons, what function it's calling, and I just copy the functions to Claude and ask for some fix. And it asks for another files, so I just copy that files into Claude too, and now it's point out where to fix.
So based on the example files, it shows where the error is in the current structure. Or
Sorry, what?
as in it made, you gave it additional context and it used that context to find the problem in the current structure.
Yeah, for the current structure.
Okay. We get a fresh error.
We get a new errors. We can check it here. When I'm facing these colors, things that I'm going to do the first is managing the gas limit, but I have to check if it is too low or too high. No, there's no gas limit. Oh. Maybe I don't have the P coin. Actually, let me check it out. Oh yeah.
You added the you added the control.
I added the coin, but I haven't sent some to my account. Just copy my wallet address real quick. I'll just use the chat we use to create a private token because it has the owner wallet and all things needed to able to send some P coin to our wallet.
Gotcha.
The deployment account is out of gas. Let me check.
Do you need to get some from the faucet?
We could actually, but oh yeah, this account has gas. Let me check. Okay. Thing is, I forgot to take note. This is the owner. to refresh it. Oops, private key exposed.
Test
You know
again,
what?
right?
I just found some useful extension for recording. Like I can just blur part of the elements on the browser.
Nice.
Yeah.
This time it's too late, of course, but it's
Yeah. Okay, transferred without further ado. Okay, now it's getting the encrypted value. That's why we're seeing these large numbers. We test it out. Getting another urge. Not related to gas to our token limits. Now it's gonna be like back and forth chatting. Try to find.
the issue is clear now. It says.
It's never clear.
Crystal clear.
Let's guard it and try. Maybe I'll try to make it check the control API. I recall it's not. I don't think it's the correct way of implementing it. Yeah. Oh, good timing. It's now asking to see the contract.ts. The human readable API with typical syntax. Yeah.
By ethers, yes.
In empty transit. That's what I thought.
It specifically says ethers.js version 6. Is there any potential issue there? We're using a different version?
I think version 6 is actually the latest one. No, version 6.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry for the flashbang. So now it's fixed. Okay, now it look. Publish it. Let's see.
It's a probability machine, so it still feels like some RNG once in a while. Yeah.
Sorry, what? Your voice just disappeared.
I said it's still a probability machine, so sometimes it still feels like RNG when trying to fix it. Okay.
Okay, let's try it out. Long, give us some hope. We'll see.
Something.
Something. Yeah, something. Please.
But we got here the last time, right? Okay,
No, actually yes, but it's now requesting 2 transaction. So I'm not sure what is actually the second transaction that it is requesting. So it's actually new to me. Let's check on the testnet. Yeah, proof failed. Right? Yeah.
Could there be a mismatch between the key and the address?
The key of what?
That it's which is why it's not able to sign and then gets refused, or
Yeah, I'm confirming it with Claude. I'm not sure. No, it tests calling functions. Oh, I forgot about showing the function call to you. So now COTI MCP server is trying to call the function on our smart contract. Shares empty database on original niche. Okay, now it's creating fix for us, but I'll also as retro.
Okay.
Contract call encoding failed completely. My Mac is now laggy. I'm not sure why. We have 1,000 browsers opening.
I think it's called too many tabs syndrome.
This is actually less tabs than I normally use with my personal computer.
Okay. Also, welcome, Remy in chat. Thank you for joining the session. If you have
Hello,
any questions, feel free to ask.
you're still early because we have a long thing today. So now I'm trying to update the code. I absolutely have no idea like what is the point. What point are we on currently? I'm trying to.
So, what's this in your interpretation now? Was this caused by a wrongful interpretation of the LLM,
Yes,
by the LLM of the official examples and input and documentation?
I don't think it is the issue with the documentations. It's actually the issues of the LLM trying to figure out ways to talk to our custom smart contracts because it never implemented before, right? So it just need to figure out how. So if we just creating some smart contract that is already available online, it will be a lot easier to implement and using AI to integrate with it. But since now we are creating some custom stuff, we need to fix errors ourselves.
So, given the examples and the existing contracts out there and their structure, it's apparently not enough to fully comprehend newly generated contracts being built with it out of the box.
Yeah, especially
In
we
this
are
example.
using some complex use case.
Okay.
Because I'm not after reading the smart contract code when Claude first generated for us, right? I found that it's actually generate a lot of things, not just some MVP stuff. So that may be the reason it's causing the errors because there are a lot to work on to comprehend.
Because it wants to make it too fancy.
Yes, isn't
Yeah. Now we have seen this before, and on the live streams, and given some refactoring, it usually pans out. It just takes a moment. And of course, also for builders out there, as these um, as this documentation and these and contexts that are provided are becoming more and more common, the error ratio should go down over time when building with these tools. But we're very much on the edge of what's being published about them at the moment. So there's not many public available up-to-date resources which are scraped by default. So you really have to pinpoint what to use. Yep. And that accounts for a lot of like any chain you might be using, most likely.
Good point. It's interacting with smart contracts. So let's see. Oh, hey, Robert. Look at this.
Successful.
But
with transaction ID.
But do we trust it? Let's refresh.
Let's verify it on the block scanner.
Yeah. Oh, we have one contributors. Oh my god. At the moment of food, actually, I'll connect to my account. Connect to this account, and I'll also fund some COTI to the new account I just created. I'm sorry. Okay. I have SharePoint. Actually, Social Claude. Okay, now I'm sending some P-coin to my newly created account, and I'll use it, and I'll try to contribute like 3,000 P-coin, and let's see if the ranking is updated. If not, then we are having issues with the computations. But if it's updated, then congratulations.
Yep. But even then, think back if you would have created this manually from scratch. Would you have been able to do that up until this point in the 2.5 hours that we've had just now?
2.5 hours? No. Like, to be honest, like I'll be like thinking about all the steps, like thinking from scratch on the functionalities I need. But with tools like AI, it thinks forward for us, even though they need a lot of context, but it do have like a larger steps than us. I would probably like start deploying smart contracts. Let's say, not counting starting the front end project from scratch. That would take a lot more time than initializing a project on ReZero.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Okay. I'll copy add my P-coin to my new wallet. Wait a second. Copy this. There. Sorry, my brain is not braining. Okay, import. I'm waiting for Claude to send our token. I'm not sure if it's actually
Is it
eating up
doing
my
that?
resources. It is? Yes, it
No,
is.
okay.
But it looked freezing.
It's not.
Never mind, I'll refresh it.
Okay. Usually it's spinning or moving. If it's executing.
Try to close everything up. Okay, do it again. Okay. Okay, now send some Pcoin to our account. Let's check it out. Okay, now we have some Pcoin. So I'm going to only like 6,000 because it will be a lot more than the first
Did you
participant.
connect with the new address? So there's a
Yes,
different
I did.
contributor? Okay.
But let me check for a second. Okay, I'll try connecting with another account because I'm questioning if the AES key is the same. Because it should not be the same.
That might require a refresh, right?
Okay, now we have onboard account. All right, now let's try to contribute 6,000. Like I'm a millionaire contributing 6,000. I want to keep it secretly.
6,000 Pcoin.
Yep. But having a lot of stuff to sign. Let's refresh and see if the highest contributor is our new wallet. Yes,
Boom.
actually it is. Oh, what I want to check on the testnet. Transactions.
But the testnet would not be showing 6,000, right? It would just be showing the encrypted transaction.
It should not show it. Actually, must not show it. Okay, so now we're calling some encrypted method. Let's check on the transaction hash to see what's happening. You can see it's submitting all the encrypted inputs to the blockchain. We don't even know like what it's calling. Like this is what kind of privacy COTI is giving to us, right? Because normally if I was using normal blockchain, I can see all the values.
So what you're saying is that it's working.
Yes, what I'm saying is it's
Yes.
working, but the ranking is not working. But the MPC computation is
Okay.
showing what we are expected to see.
Why is the ranking not working? As in the highest contributor is the
It's
latest one, right? The latest address with 6,000 Pcoin.
Yes, this one is the one that we just submit 6,000 Bitcoins.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the ranking is pending. Not sure. You want me to continue fixing it, or do you want to wrap up on today's success?
Let's take a quick look. Just a quick look. I mean, the ranking is based on a comparison of private values, which is one of the big
Yes, it
features, of
is.
course. So let's give it a shot. Because the fact that you can compare encrypted values together allows you for a lot to execute a lot of new type of features for which formerly would not have been private or not have been possible. So let's see if we can
Yes.
find that function.
Higher rankings.
Also, this is not the longest stream yet, so we got time.
Really?
This is not the longest stream yet. So
What is the longest one?
at least 3 hours. I think it was at least 3 hours. Yeah, yeah. But let's see if we can wrap up before 3.
Of course, of course.
Okay, would it help if we treat it the same way we did with the previous errors, asking it to log the interactions from the button?
It
Or
could.
is that what it will come up with most likely now that it's analyzing the issue?
In my opinion, it might know is like actually the correct way to talk to our smart contract. So I just want to give it a little nudge to check on on the implementation of getting the ranking.
Okay.
This sentence again. I see the issue now. Look at the contract designed, the highest is computed automatically. I fixed the issue by deriving it locally from that data. Let me check this. I'm not sure if it's actually using our function.
Okay, claims it fixed. So we're publishing again. Good.
Yes. I'll try to see. You said it's deriving locally, but I'm not seeing the code where it's working locally. Maybe my eyes are all blurred. Everything is blurred. Okay. Also ask Claude about this. Hello, Robert, can you hear me? Hello?
Yep, loud and clear.
Okay. Mine was showing timeout.
Okay, so it published.
It's published.
So what's... Oh, we have to refresh it. Okay. Yep.
What event ready means? I don't understand this. Sorry. I need to reprompt it.
Is there a function we need to call to execute the comparison? So because it displays it's
I
ready.
think it's
if you make
already executed comparison, right? But we have another function that should check for that would do the rankings for us. So I need to check with Claude about that. So ranking status.
So that's a separate sorting mechanism.
Yes, exactly. Oh, maybe you should show our ranking, right? Our rank. Is that correct? Like our number in ranking.
If this is the dashboard from the user's point of view, it could do that. If it's a dashboard from the admin's point of view, then it could show all of them.
It's not admin dashboard actually. Trying to do on. Well, actually, this is the page where every users will see. So I'm not sure what ranking status is about, but I will ask Claude for it.
Yeah, in this case, logged in with the current account that just donated, it should be ranking status 1, as in the top position.
Oh, in case we log in, right? That's your case.
Yeah, because we are logged in with the account that sent the most.
Yeah. Computes encrypted rankings for all participants using our rankings ready. I actually forgot what a ranking status is for. I'll ask Visual for that. Maybe it is a status loading the private computation. That's what I'm thinking. But I'm not sure. Sure. The ranking status was originally intended to indicate whether NPC. Oh, which is a status for computation.
And it is ready for that. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, yes. But we have functionalities to get my rank. You want to try it out?
We're not at the 3-hour mark yet. So.
How long are we?
We have 9 minutes. We have 9 minutes left.
I don't want to break the record on my first stream. Okay, I think we can wrap up on that actually.
Okay, fair enough. We can look into that functionality in another stream.
Okay.
Apparently the server is available for it. It pings that it's ready. So what we've shown here is one, we're able to build the actual application, create a front end for it, and then refactor it up to the point where front end and back end are in sync. And also that in this case, Claude and both Claude and V0 have been helpful in finding out, okay, where does this come from? Help me with logging, indicate what we could do, and come up with suggestions, and then also fix them if needed.
So to add up to this, well, actually, if you're non-coders, you're not an experienced builder, I just want to say that I'm not like utilizing my engineer skill as much as I should. I was always on this session. I was always relies on AIs, which I want to show like people who just come into the field can also do this, and you will face errors, of course, but you know my struggle, how I face errors, how I accomplish that, and I just want to say that you can keep building and keep experimenting. And that's it's the fun of vibe coding, actually.
Exactly. Always keep experimenting. And in this case, we use different engines to reflect, to pre-generate the prompts as well. So it doesn't end with the one that you're using. It's also, like you said, it's also sometimes an optimization question for budgeting. Majority for the majority of projects, I'd recommend if you like a certain editor at one point to invest for the sake of your project and the sake of your freedom as well, to be able to experiment without having to think about the maximum amount of tokens at that time, at least.
Yes.
But that's a personal preference, I would say. That was our session for today. We have a lot of new ones coming up. I see that you're on the board again, Jordan, soon.
Yeah.
Next week.
Okay, next week, 4 hours. Next week gonna be easy from my opinion. I'll have to POC on it.
I saw it's a transaction alert system built with N8N
Yes.
for blockchains.
Yes. Really
Awesome.
interesting.
As a first-time builder, it's really interesting because N8N is a visual editor.
Workflow automations. Yeah.
Yes, workflow. So it's literally the building blocks that you
Yes.
connect to create your workflow to automate it. So very cool, different from today as well. Good moment to reflect and find your vibe for vibe coding. And with that, I'd like to thank you for today, Jordan, and
Okay.
thank you
Thank you too,
everyone in the
Albert, for
chat.
staying with me for the whole session.
I loved every second of it, and I hope the audience did
Me
as
too.
well. And we hope to see you soon, everyone. Thank you again, and stay COTI.
Thank you.